Thanks, Chris. Well, it's certainly not 70 degrees here in Warwick this morning. The temperature that I've got right now is just around 39 degrees. I'm not sure if you can see that very clearly. But it's coming down in buckets here as well. There's a lot of flooding on the roadways as I was heading up 300 towards Cordele this morning. So if you are outdoors, just be careful. Make sure you're driving slowly. You're not following too closely. But while we're out here today, Chris has been mentioning that we could see some of that wintry precipitation fall through the overnight tonight into tomorrow morning as you're heading out the door. Maybe you're off to work. Maybe you're off to school. Well, there's some things that you should know. First of all, with all the ice advisories, lots of the DOTs across the area in southwest Georgia are getting prepared. But what about your children as they're waiting for the bus? Or maybe you're getting ready to send them out to the bus. There's a certain way that people should dress to keep them safe from the elements when these colder temperatures are in place. You should have about 3 layers. The first layer underneath, that should be the one that's touching your skin. Avoid cotton material, especially with rain. If it gets wet, it's going to hold that moisture in and it's going to help create a better chill. So you want to wear something synthetic or maybe something that'll just wick off the water. The water will bead if it happens to touch it. That'll prevent it from getting wet and keep you warmer and dry as well. The next layer you want to cover up with a fleece or a light jacket, maybe a sweatshirt or something. Again, you kind of want to stay away from the cottony fabrics, but that should be your middle layer, and that's the layer that's going to keep you warm. On top of that, you want a jacket kind of like the one I'm wearing. It's usually made out of that sweat pant material. Yes, go back to the 70s and 80s when you saw those MC Hammer type crazy colors. Early 90s had them as well. That's the kind of material that you want to stick with for the outer cover. You want it to be able to repel any water or any snow or any ice that may come in contact with you, again, to keep you warm and to keep you dry. Did you know that about 10% of heat can be left from your hands, your head, and your feet? So if you are outdoors, especially with the rain expected, put on some rain boots as you're heading out the door. Use that umbrella, put on a hat, maybe a winter hat as well, and make sure your hands are covered, and that'll help some of that heat escape from your body, and you'll be able to stay a little bit warmer. So keep those tips handy. We're going to try to get to Cordele this morning, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about more on what we can expect with some of this winter weather. Kelly? All right, well, I am outside right now in Cordele, and it is raining. And not only is it raining, it is not freezing, but it definitely feels like it with this cold water. Speaking of freezing temperatures, National Weather Service has issued a freezing rain advisory, and that'll last from now all the way into tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. With that being said, there's always a possibility that the overpasses and bridges may see some ice accumulation through the morning hours, and that's what we want to kind of make you aware of today. So we're expecting to see possibly a mix of sleet and freezing rain mix into the rain precipitation through the overnight hours into tonight. That's going to be for places like Americus or Cordele, where I'm at right now, as well as possibly in northern Leesburg, maybe Smithville, extending all the way east into Fitzgerald and possibly Douglas. Mainly above Highway 82 as you're heading out across southwest Georgia. So what does that mean for all of you as you're getting ready to go to school and go to work? Well, stay tuned to Fox 31 for school closing updates. Nobody has mentioned any right now. However, with ice on the roads, we could be seeing some of these freezing conditions hinder students to get to school safely. So that's something to keep in mind. On top of that, if you do have to go to work or you do have to drive to school, make sure you're driving slow. Right now, with all the rain, the road along 300 is treacherous. There's already ponding. You can see, look behind me. This is what most of the shoulders look like across all of southwest Georgia, at least along 300 heading from Albany into Cordele. So regardless of whether or not you're going out today or to tomorrow, make sure you're slowing down and drive safely while you're on the roads. Chris? Once again, I am out here in Cordele, and I showed you earlier this puddle that was behind me in my last shot. Right now, I'm in the middle of the puddle. I'm not sure if you can really tell or not, but the water is really up to my knees. This is how much room I have between my knee and the water. You can see it sloshing around. I've got my rain boots on. It's freezing cold. It's freezing cold outside here as well. Maybe not temperature-wise, but when you're outside and the water's hitting you, it certainly is cold. The main concern for southwest Georgia with this winter storm that the north is seeing is we could possibly see some freezing rain or maybe some sleet mixed in as well. There is a freezing rain advisory in effect from the National Weather Service. We are in it right now, and we could see it until tomorrow at 1 p.m. What that means is, as you're on about in the northern counties, north of Highway 82, we could be seeing some light freezing rain mix in, maybe some freezing drizzle as well with the rain we're expected to see over the next 24 hours. Now, this is going to affect counties, Sumter County, where we can see Americus, northern parts of Leesburg and Smithville. Cordele, where I'm at, could see this as well. As far east as Leeds, as Fitzgerald as well, we can all see these types of conditions present into tomorrow around 1 p.m. Now, with that, with freezing rain, that just means it's liquid in the state from the clouds, and the surface is around 32 degrees, and when that liquid rain makes contact with the surface, it freezes. That's where we get black ice. And when you see that black ice, you can see that black ice on bridges and overpasses, and that's going to make traveling difficult across southwest Georgia. If you're out, just remember to slow down and be cautious. If you don't have to be out, stay home and enjoy the rainy weather from indoors. Chris, into you.